Prince Harry storming off The Late Show with Stephen Colbert was not just another celebrity tantrum. It was a moment that left people scratching their heads, wondering, what on earth just happened? Now, let's be honest, Harry has been through a lot. He's been chased by paparazzi since he was in diapers, lost his mother in a tragedy that shook the world, served in the military, and then, just when things seemed to settle, he packed up, moved to sunny California, and started dropping royal truth bombs in primetime interviews. But this was different. It all started as just another night in late-night TV land. Prince Harry was the featured guest, there to talk about life, projects, and probably throw in a few charming jokes about British tea. Everything seemed fine at first. He smiled, he laughed. He did that casual, "oh, I'm just a regular guy now" thing. Stephen Colbert, being his usual witty self, played along, cracking jokes about Harry's transition from royalty to Hollywood. Then, enter Kate Winslet. Now, Kate is not just any actress. She is an Oscar-winning, universally beloved Queen of Hollywood in her own right. But here's the twist. She has never been one to bow down to the whole royal thing. And she proved it the second she stepped onto that stage. Colbert, trying to set up a light-hearted moment, joked, "Titanic royalty meets actual royalty." It was supposed to be fun, a simple little joke to make the audience chuckle. But then Kate, with the grace of someone who has survived an iceberg collision on screen, turned to the crowd and said, "I think we're all equals here, aren't we?" Boom! Silence. You could practically hear a pin drop. Harry's face changed instantly. That easygoing smile? Gone. The laid-back California vibe? Vanished. It was like watching someone suddenly realize their GPS just rerouted them into a ditch. The audience wasn't sure what to do. Was this playful? Was this shade? Even Colbert, the king of late-night banter, seemed to realize that this moment had taken a sharp left turn into Awkwardville. Now, before anyone could fully process the tension, the show cut to commercial. That's when, according to inside sources, things really got interesting. Reports suggest that during the break, Harry leaned in and spoke to Kate. Witnesses say it was quick but intense, like that moment when you realize your Wi-Fi is down right before a big Zoom meeting. No one knows exactly what was said, but let's just say Harry did not look like a man who just had a friendly chat about the weather. He seemed tense, frustrated. Some say he asked Kate if her comment was meant to be an insult. Others believe he was hoping she would soften her stance, maybe throw in a polite, "Oh, you know, I didn't mean it like that." But Kate? Unfazed, unapologetic, cool as ever. And then, before anyone could even process what was happening, Harry left. Not just left the conversation. Not just left the stage. He left the building. No post-show handshakes. No backstage chit-chat with Colbert. No quick photo with the crew. He was gone. And just like that, one simple sentence from Kate Winslet turned a late-night talk show appearance into a full-blown media storm. What was supposed to be another smooth interview about Harry's post-royal life ended up as one of the most talked-about celebrity moments of the year. Prince Harry versus Hollywood. A love story gone wrong? Prince Harry and Hollywood. At first, it seemed like a match made in celebrity heaven. He was a prince who had stepped away from the castle, ready to embrace a new life in sunny California. Hollywood, always hungry for a fresh scandal, welcomed him with open arms. There were multi-million-dollar deals, high-profile interviews, and endless headlines. For a while, Harry and Meghan Markle were the most talked-about couple in town. But fast forward a few years, and something strange has happened. Hollywood doesn't seem quite as obsessed with them anymore. Now, let's get one thing straight. Harry is no stranger to the media. He has spent his entire life being followed by cameras, reporters, and flashing lights. He knows how to handle interviews, how to dodge tricky questions, and how to smile through awkward moments. But Hollywood operates differently than the British royal family. Back in the palace, respect is automatic. You're born with a title and people bow. Simple. In Hollywood, though, things don't work that way. You have to prove your worth. It doesn't matter who your grandmother is, even if she was literally the Queen of England. When Harry first moved to America, he seemed to be riding high. He and Meghan signed a massive deal with Netflix. They landed a huge contract with Spotify. They did a tell-all interview with Oprah Winfrey that had millions of people glued to their screens. At first, Hollywood couldn't get enough of them. But as time went on, something started to shift. The excitement faded. The media coverage wasn't as glowing. The Netflix projects didn't quite become the cultural phenomena they were expected to be. The Spotify deal quietly ended. And people started asking, has Hollywood lost interest in Prince Harry? And this brings us back to that moment with Kate Winslet. Her comment, "I think we're all equals here, aren't we?" hit a nerve because it exposed a bigger issue. Harry left the monarchy to be treated like a normal person. But deep down, does he still expect a certain level of special treatment? Hollywood loves an underdog, a reinvention story, a comeback. But Harry isn't just a celebrity. He's someone who carries a title, a history, and a family legacy that has shaped him since birth. He wants to step away from it, but at the same time, he is forever tied to it. And that's where things get complicated. Hollywood doesn't do tradition. It does reinvention. It loves actors who go from child stars to Oscar winners, musicians who switch genres and become even bigger, and directors who constantly push new boundaries. But what happens when someone like Harry, who was born into his role, tries to rewrite his story? Can he truly separate himself from royalty and stand on his own in Hollywood? Or will he always be Prince Harry, no matter how hard he tries to change that? That night on The Late Show, Kate Winslet may not have meant to start a debate about Harry's place in Hollywood. But that's exactly what she did. Because her words weren't just about him. They were about the bigger question that has been lingering in the air for years now. Does Hollywood still care about Prince Harry? The moment Kate Winslet and Prince Harry shared the stage, it was clear something was off. Normally, when a royal and a Hollywood star meet, there's an air of polite admiration. Maybe a joke about tea or fancy British accents. But not this time. This time, the air was thick. Thick like that feeling when you realize you just sent a text about someone. To that someone. Yeah, that kind of tension. It started out as a playful introduction. Stephen Colbert, always the master of stirring up good-natured fun, set up what should have been an easy moment. He introduced Harry, and then, with a wink, welcomed Kate Winslet, playfully calling it Titanic royalty meets actual royalty. The audience chuckled, expecting some friendly banter. But then, Kate, never one to play by the unspoken rules of royal admiration, hit back with a response that no one saw coming. With a casual shrug, she said, "I think we're all equals here, aren't we?" And that was it. That was the moment. Harry's face shifted faster than a Hollywood reboot. His easygoing, "I'm just a regular guy now" attitude disappeared, and for a second, it looked like he wasn't quite sure how to react. Because, let's be honest, when you've spent your entire life being treated as special, even after stepping away from the monarchy, it's got to be weird when someone, especially someone as powerful as Kate Winslet, simply refuses to play along. The audience felt it. Colbert felt it. Harry definitely felt it. What was supposed to be a light-hearted exchange suddenly turned into a moment that revealed something deeper. Harry's complicated place in this new world he's trying to navigate. When the cameras cut to commercial, the audience thought they were just taking a quick break from the tension. What they didn't know was that things were about to get even spicier behind the scenes. While viewers at home were probably watching ads about toothpaste and fast food, something far more dramatic was unfolding backstage. According to people in the studio, Prince Harry didn't just sit there, laugh it off, and wait for the show to resume. Oh no, he leaned in, literally, and had a few words for Kate Winslet. Now, was it a full-blown royal meltdown? Probably not. But was it awkward enough to make everyone around them hold their breath and pretend to check their phones? Absolutely. Sources say Harry, in a calm but not-so-happy voice, asked Winslet if her comment was meant to be a joke, or if she was actually trying to make a point. Imagine that! Prince Harry, a man who has faced the British tabloids, royal scandals, and Oprah's toughest questions, now having to confront Kate Winslet over one sentence. But Kate? She didn't flinch. She simply looked at him, gave a little shrug, and stood her ground. This wasn't just about a talk show anymore. This was a moment where two worlds clashed. Royalty, where status is inherited, and Hollywood, where respect is earned. And for the first time in a long time, Prince Harry wasn't being treated like a prince. He was just another guest on a talk show, and judging by his reaction, that realization stung. By the time the cameras came back on, Harry's mood had definitely shifted. And just like that, the rest of the interview had a completely different energy. The moment the show wrapped up, Prince Harry did something no one expected. He left. Not just a polite, "thank you for having me" kind of exit. No backstage small talk, no casual photo with the crew, no friendly handshake with Stephen Colbert. Just gone. It was the kind of exit you make when you realize you've just texted your ex at 3 in the morning and immediately regret it. People in the studio were left whispering, "Did that just happen?" One second, he was sitting there, trying to keep his cool, and the next, he was out the door, skipping every Hollywood tradition of post-show chit-chat. Normally, when celebrities finish an interview, they linger. They smile, they pose for pictures. They exchange fake but very convincing compliments about how much fun they had. But Harry? Not this time. Meanwhile, Kate Winslet? Oh, she was completely unbothered. She stayed behind, chatting with the crew, laughing, thanking people for having her. She was the definition of cool. If Harry's exit was a thunderstorm, Kate was the person inside sipping tea, totally unfazed. The contrast was painfully obvious. By the time Harry's car pulled away, social media was already in full meltdown mode. Some people thought Kate had been disrespectful, while others said Harry was finally being treated like a regular person, and he didn't like it. And that's when the headlines started rolling in. Prince Harry storms out of late-night show. Kate Winslet refuses to acknowledge royal title. Hollywood versus royalty. Who really won? One thing was clear. What should have been a simple talk show appearance had turned into the moment everyone was talking about. The moment Prince Harry walked out of the Late Show, the internet exploded with one big question. Did this moment prove that Hollywood no longer cares about royalty? Once upon a time, Hollywood treated British royals like the ultimate VIPs. If a prince or princess walked into the room, celebrities would rush to shake their hands, flash their best smiles, and maybe even throw in a curtsy for good measure. But now, things seem different. The world has changed, and so has Hollywood. Hollywood doesn't just love fame, it loves reinvention. It loves a good rags-to-riches story, a dramatic fall followed by an even bigger comeback. But Harry? His story is complicated. He walked away from the royal family to live a normal life, but at the same time, his fame still comes from being royal. That creates a weird situation where people don't quite know how to treat him. Kate Winslet's reaction on The Late Show wasn't just about Harry. It was about the way Hollywood sees power. In movies, power is something you earn. You act your heart out. You go through years of struggle. And then, maybe, you win an Oscar. But in royal life, power is something you're born with. And maybe, just maybe, Hollywood isn't as impressed by that anymore. That one simple sentence, "I think we're all equals here, aren't we?" wasn't just a casual remark. It was a reality check. It was Hollywood's way of saying, "Welcome to our world, Harry. Here, you're just another celebrity. No special treatment." And judging by his reaction, that realization hit hard. After Prince Harry's dramatic exit from The Late Show, the internet went into full detective mode. People weren't just talking about what happened. They were trying to figure out what it all meant. Was this just an awkward moment? Or was it a sign of something bigger? Some fans rushed to defend Harry, saying that he had every right to be upset. After all, he spent his whole life in a world where titles and respect go hand in hand. Maybe he wasn't expecting Kate Winslet to brush it off so casually. Maybe he thought Hollywood would treat him the way the British press always had, with endless fascination. But instead of being treated like a prince, he was treated like, well, like any other celebrity. And for someone who gave up a royal life but still carries a royal name, that had to sting. Others argued that this moment proved that Hollywood was over the whole royal thing. A few years ago, anything Harry did was front-page news. His interviews were watched by millions. His Netflix deals made headlines worldwide. But now, the attention isn't quite the same. Hollywood moves fast. It loves fresh drama, new stars, and ever-changing headlines. Maybe this was the moment when Harry realized that, in the entertainment world, fame is never guaranteed, no matter who your grandmother was. So, what's next for Prince Harry? Will he lean back into his royal roots, reminding people of his unique status? Or will he find a way to reinvent himself, proving that he can be more than just the prince who left the palace? Whatever happens next, one thing is certain. Hollywood and the world will be watching.